We were live in Knoxville, Tennessee. East Tennessee State just wrapped up a game, a close game, a great coaching battle with Tennessee. Coach Murry Bartow and Donnie Tyndall. I've seen a few battles between you and some other great coaches. Just kind of briefly talk about the game today, Coach.
Well, we're disappointed. I thought we'd have a real chance to come in here and have a chance to go out of here happy, and obviously when you get beat, you're not very happy. But Donnie's a really good coach. Donnie's teams have always been great rebounding teams, and that's what killed us tonight. I mean, we've had two really critical things with our team, with our 2-5 men. We've been playing two centers, and now we don't have either of those two centers on our team. So we've become a very small team with just not much physical strength. Doesn't mean we're not trying. I think our guys are fighting hard and trying, but we just don't have a lot of girth and a lot of strength, and it really hurt us on the glass. And again, when you play Donnie's teams, you know what you're going to get. They're going to be a very physical, rebounding team. So a lot of things I'm encouraged by, but obviously when you get beat, as a coach, you're disappointed.
Right. Well, you obviously played at UAB. Your dad obviously has the legacy at UAB, and I'm a former alum, or I am alum, 2013 at UAB. I work inside their football program. I know all about it, what you guys mean to that university. And in the past month, of course, the whole nation has found out that UAB closed their football program for now misleading documents that are coming out stating just reasons that should not even be reasons to close this program. What's your take on this whole situation?
Well, it would take me and you sitting here for an hour for me to really tell you all my feelings. But as a Bartow, I'm incredibly disappointed. Obviously, my dad would be incredibly disappointed by the dropping of football. If you go way back, if I could give you you're a young guy, but if I could give you the quick history lesson, if you go back to the late 70s when my dad was brought into UAB, there was tremendous opposition to starting an athletic department at UAB because UAB is under the board of the University of Alabama, and if you go inside that boardroom, it's very, very crimson on the inside of that boardroom. So many of those trustees, some of those trustees were good, nice people, but many of those trustees, even if you go way back, they wanted UAB to be an extension center. They didn't want UAB to have a big-time campus and a big-time athletic department, and God forbid, a football program. So what my dad was able to do with the help of some incredible presidents, Dick Hill, Scotty McCallum, and I'm talking some tough presidents that had strong backbones that said, hey, we're going to do this. We need an athletic department at UAB. So to do that and to have the success they've had over the years and then to start football, the football hasn't been as successful, but this year, great new coach, really good program, good team, bowl eligible, and then for the carpet to be pulled out under their feet like it was is, again, as a Bartow, and I'm kind of speaking now on behalf of my dad, but really disappointed. I mean, here's the bottom line with a president making that decision. You and I aren't in that room, and it's very tough as you sit there and look at the numbers. Any president in the country, unless you're at the elite football schools like a Tennessee, like a Florida, like an Alabama, the rest of them are losing money. They're all losing money. So as a president, you've got to be able to have good rationale for why football is important to an institution. It's important for your students. It's important for your alumni. It's important for the city of Birmingham. It's important for a lot of reasons. There's no way you can really sit and justify it financially, but presidents all across the country do it because they know what it means for a university to have football with student engagement, alumni engagement, and especially when you're at UAB and you've got Alabama to your right and Auburn to your left, football was an important thing. So that's a long answer, but that gives you a little history. But the short answer is, as a Bartow, I'm very, very disappointed.
Well, you mentioned the early days, and also with the early days, you have director or former athletic director now, Brian Mackin. And when I was finishing up at UAB in spring of 2013, 1 month after President Ray Watts got to UAB in his tenure, I had an interview with Mackin, and he had a completely different vision for the future of athletics, not only just the championship culture, but facility-wise as well. You don't completely change that after 4 months of having your own thought process after a president comes in. And in the interview, he mentioned the great deal of respect, obviously, for your dad and you as childhood friends. Have you been able to reach out, or has Brian Mackin reached out to you since all this happened?
We've spoken several times, and obviously I'm not going to get into all those conversations. Right. But Brian is a good friend. Brian played baseball at UAB back in the early '80s when I was part of the basketball program. So, again, I don't want to get into all that, but obviously I'm not sure he and the president saw eye to eye on everything. But I like Brian very much, and I think Brian, my strong feeling is that Brian is a very, very loyal UAB man and a very loyal Gene Bartow man, and wasn't going to go against the grain on all that. Now that's me talking, not Brian talking. But again, it's a hard decision. As a president, you're behind closed doors. You've got numbers, you've got folders, and you've got all this paperwork telling you. I guess Bill Carr's group came in and did some kind of report. But football is a tough thing because it's very expensive. Football is a tough animal. We're starting football now at ETSU. But as a president, again, I don't know Dr. Watts. I'm sure he has strong beliefs and strong reasons for shutting it down. I don't know if it's his decision. I don't know if he feels pressure from above. I know this: when you're the president at UAB, you are under the board, and the board is very, very strong, and it's very strong with not equal representation for Huntsville, Birmingham, and Alabama. It's very pro-Tuscaloosa. If the book was written back in the late 70s and early 80s, I know because I'm Gene Bartow's son and I was privy to all of it. But it's a miracle that UAB's even got an athletic program. Because, again, with my dad's knowledge, and then at the time, Jerry Young, who was the vice president at the time, and Dick Hill and Scotty McCallum and some strong presidential leadership, they wouldn't even have an athletic department right now. But you had some incredibly strong presidents with my dad, and they were able to pull it off. But trust me, there was a great deal of opposition to UAB having an athletic department, let alone starting a new football program.
Well, last thing, Coach, because I know you have to hit the road on New Year's Eve and all that good stuff and watch more film. But you mentioned football. Obviously, we're sitting on the University of Tennessee's campus, and Philip Fulmer's had a strong staple on this campus through the football department. And as we mentioned, your dad had a strong staple in UAB's athletic program. The thing that I see in both of those, not just the championship coaches in Philip Fulmer and Gene Bartow, but they both stood up to the University of Alabama for their wrongdoings, and they were both blamed for standing up because they both went to the NCAA. Philip Fulmer as a secret witness, your dad in the 1991 letter to the NCAA. I applaud Philip Fulmer and your father for doing that because that's what they're about. They're about what's doing right. Do you have any comments on how your dad?
No. I would just say my dad was a really good man and he loved UAB.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very, very loyal, strong proponent of UAB. I don't know Coach Fulmer well. I've gotten to know him a little bit because of his association now with ETSU football, and that he's a consultant and he's up on our campus. But I know he's a great man. He's a man of tremendous character, tremendous integrity, very similar to the same characteristics of my dad. So I think, you talk about Gene Bartow, you talk about Phil Fulmer, it's much deeper than the wins and the losses and the championships. There are two men that were, my dad passed away now, but two men of incredible integrity and great character and always trying to do things the right way.
Well, Coach, I do appreciate you talking to me as a UAB alum, and of course your background with the
two UAB alums sitting here.
That's right, at the University of Tennessee.
Okay, thanks for having me. Okay.